जो देती दुखों से किनारा। पंचामृत जल अग्नि पवन धरती और गगन है, चार दिशाएं चार फिजाएं, चारों युगों को नमन है, चारों युगों को नमन है। सांसों के तार जुड़े प्रभु से, मुरली दिखाए नजारे। ये प्रभु पाती ही पढ़ लो सजनी, साजन लाए हमारे, साजन लाए हमारे। मुरली में जो समा जाए वो फरिश्ता बन जाए प्यारा। मुरली अमृत की धारा है धारा, जो देती दुखों से किनारा। मुरली अमृत की धारा है धारा, जो देती दुखों से किनारा।
Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. So today it's a beautiful Murli, one of the original Murlis from 70s, 72, actually August 6th, 1772. So one of the main thing Baba was emphasizing on the subtlety of our attitudes, right? So Baba was telling what makes your attitude fickle. So in other words, वृत्ति में हलचल और चंचलता आने का कारण, we are taking our व्रत not so seriously, right? So Baba is telling, having come to the land of transformation, and this is seems like it is Baba is talking to a group who came to Madhuban for a bhatti. So he was addressing them. So it is very relevant for us even now. So Baba is telling, having come to the land of transformation, do you experience transformation? To come to bhatti means to burn your weaknesses and defects. So do you experience your weaknesses to be moving away from you for all times? Are you filling yourself with this much willpower? Because the transformation of this time will become transformation for all time. When anything is put into fire, its form, color, task changes. It cannot remain the same as before. When anything put into fire, its form, color, task changes. It cannot remain the same as before. Its form, color, and task changes for all time. So too, do you experience within yourself?
Harsha, excuse me.
Haji.
Can you be a little louder?
Louder. Okay, let me see. Is it better?
Yeah, this is proper.
So Baba is talking about, so when anything put into fire, its form, color, and task changes, it cannot remain the same as before. Its form, color, and task changes for all time. So too, do you experience within yourself the form, the color of your weaknesses to have changed? are you bringing about such transformation? Let there be determined thought within yourself that you definitely have to transform yourself before you go. Let all the weaknesses be completely burned in the fire of determination. If the fire is not intense, then neither is the form of anything that was put into the fire the same as it was before, nor does it change itself totally. It remains incomplete. Check yourself as to whether the fire of such elevated thoughts was so intense or whether you just had an ordinary thought. Yes, we are making effort. It will definitely happen. This is not called intense effort. We will definitely do this. This is called being an intense effort maker. Having come to this bhakti at this time, do you experience stage to be that of an intense effort maker? Those who think that as soon as they came to the land of transformation, they came into the list of those who are intense effort makers. Raise your hands. Have you applied the imperishable stamp of being an intense effort maker? You do have an imperishable attainment from the imperishable Father, do you not? Since the Father is imperishable and your attainment is also imperishable, then the stage you are creating with the imperishable attainment should also be imperishable. Since the Father is imperishable and your attainment is also imperishable, then the stage you are creating with the imperishable attainment should also be imperishable. Do you consider yourself to have courage to this extent? That with your pure attitude, pure vritti, you can transform your family, pravrutti, circumstances, and nature. With your pure vritti, can you transform your pravrutti and nature and circumstances? If your attitude is elevated, then in front of this attitude, neither the family nor any type of circumstances can cause any type of attack. Because you have the pure attitude of being a master, almighty, authority, knowledgeful, and powerful. If your attitude is elevated, then in front of this elevated attitude, neither your pravritti or swabhav, sanskar, and circumstances, if your attitude is elevated, then in front of this elevated attitude, neither the family nor any type of circumstances can cause any type of attack. Because you have the pure attitude of master, almighty authority, knowledgeful, and powerful. So, have you made your attitude this elevated? How elevated? Master, almighty authority, knowledgeful, and powerful. Always check your attitude as to whether it is elevated at all times and that you do not just have an ordinary attitude. In order to make your attitude elevated and in order to be free from circumstances of the family, whilst living in the family, what method do you have to adopt? You were told previously also that in bhakti, they make spiritual endeavor, sadhana. Whereas here, on the path of knowledge, you have the method. What is the method? What will you do if your attitude becomes mischievous? First of all, what is the reason for your attitude becoming mischievous? Bring your attention to what is making your attitude mischievous. The reason for the attitude becoming mischievous or ordinary is that you come down from the first vow you took or the first promise you made as soon as you came. You either break your vow or you forget your promise. The first vow is to remain pure in your thoughts, words, and actions. This was the first promise you took. And the second vow was to belong to one Father and none other. All of you have taken this vow, even on the path of bhakti. What do you call those who take a vow and then break that vow and leave it unfulfilled? Instead of being pure, charitable souls, they become sinful souls. To what extent have you fulfilled this vow? And what are the two vows? To remain pure in your thoughts, words, action, and to belong to one Father and another. A vow is to be fulfilled at all times. Bhagats would not break this vow even if they were to die. Pran jaye, vachan na chode. So all of you should always keep in your awareness, smriti, the vow that you have taken. By having this smriti, awareness, your vritti will never become mischievous. When your attitude does not become mischievous, you will not come under the influence of any type of obstacles of family, any external circumstances, or of the elements. You will then be able to show that the elements are your servants, external circumstances to be your original state, and the family to be a sample of pure household. It is when you become slack in your vow that your attitude becomes mischievous. You get others to make the promise at the Rakhi that they will become pure. So first you have to tie this Rakhi on yourself, and then you will be able to tie others with this Rakhi bracelet. Do those on whom you tie a Rakhi become pure and take that vow? They do not even have that much courage. What is the reason for this? Do those who tie it on others stay within that vow themselves? If there is any type of impurity in your mind, then would you say that you are fulfilling the vow completely? Because whatever weakness there are in those who tie the bracelet, those on whom they tie the bracelet are not influenced by the attraction of their purity. They simply take the message as a system and custom. That is, that of it being your system. They do not take that vow. Why? It would be because of your own self, would it not? Or would you say that it is not in their fortune? However, you are the creators of fortune. You should come back having created their fortune, or you should come back having given them such inspiration to create their fortune that they wouldn't be able to stay without creating their fortune and would then come after you. You are those who have such an attraction, are you not? You also have the example of the souls who follow their customs strongly. How there was so much power in just few words spoken by so and so, that everyone continues to run after him. Compared to that, you are such elevated souls. The souls who are praised as Mahatmas of today are not even equal to the subjects of your subjects, because they do not become those who have a right to heaven. At least the subjects of your subjects will be the residents of heaven. They will experience the happiness of heaven, will they not? However, these souls cannot even come to heaven. So, when you are such elevated souls, You should perform a special task. There should be so much power in each and every word of yours that it appears as though you are speaking as an embodiment of experience. You should continue to speak, and others should continue to have that experience. Since so-called Mahatmas and Pandits of today have so much temporary power, how much power should there be in every word of yours? The words of those who are the master almighty authorities. When you give someone the first lesson of being a soul, then together with every word, continue to give them this experience also. This is the speciality. Even those people give lectures. Even they are able to speak in this way. But you, elevated souls, are able to do that which others cannot do. The difference is in this. This speciality should be visible in a practical way. How will this happen? When you imbibe all specialities within yourself. If you haven't imbibed the specialities within yourself, you're not able to make others the embodiment of dharana, inculcation. This is why you must make your attitude elevated. And again, what is the basis of elevated attitude? What is the smriti? That you are master, almighty authority, knowledgeful and powerful soul. When you have this smriti, your vritti, your attitude will be elevated. Constantly stay within the vow that you have personally made to Bhavdara, and then see what the result is. Since you have taken the vow of belonging to the one Father and none other, why is your intellect drawn elsewhere? Right? What are the two promises? Promise of purity in thoughts, words, actions, and belong to one Father and none other. When you have this in the Smriti, your vritti will be powerful. Constantly stay within the vow that you have personally made Bhavdada, and then see what the result is. Since you have taken the vow of belonging to one Father and none other, why is your intellect drawn elsewhere? Have you taken the vow to listen to others? I will speak to you. I will listen to you. This is the vow you have taken. So why do you look at or listen to other souls with a mischievous attitude? You only have to speak to that which you have heard from the Father. So how can you speak of other words or of wasteful things? This is breaking the vow. Since you have taken the vow to be soul conscious, why do you look at the body? This is breaking the vow, isn't it? From Amrit Vela onwards, check whether you are fulfilling the vow you have taken, what thoughts you should have, what words you should speak, how you should have the stage of being karma yogi whilst performing actions. This is the vow you have taken, isn't it? You have taken the vow of remaining like a lotus flower while living in the household, haven't you? How can those who are like a lotus flowers be under the influence of external situation? They should be loving and detached. If you stabilize yourself in your elevated attitude, can any atmosphere or vibrations, etc., make you fluctuate? Elevated vritti. So no vritti leads to vatavaran and vibrations, vayumandala and vibration. So if you are in elevated attitude, no atmosphere of vibrations, external atmosphere of vibration can fluctuate. The atmosphere is created through your vritti. If your vritti is elevated, then on the basis of your vritti, you are able to make the atmosphere pure. Do you have this much power? Or is the power of the atmosphere more powerful? When you come under the influence of any type of atmosphere, you should be able to finish any weaknesses the moment it enters your mind. But you even speak of it saying, what can I do? The atmosphere is like this. It was because of the atmosphere that my attitude became mischievous. What do you consider yourself to be when you speak these words? What soul are you at that time? A weak soul. You have forgotten yourself at that time. In a Laukik way, also, does anyone forget himself? Who am I? Whose child am I? What is my occupation? If anyone forgets this, then everyone would laugh at me. At that time, look at yourself. Have I forgotten myself? Have I forgotten my father? Have I forgotten my position? Now make this vow firm. Then see how you become victorious at all times. Nothing will be able to make you fluctuate. Revise this vow in your intellect again and again. What promise have I made to the Father? What vow have I taken? Then that vow will be refreshed and it will remain in your awareness. The more it remains in your awareness, the more power there will be. Now, make yourself this powerful. Keep the aim that you should become number one. What will you leave in the land of blessing as a memorial of being the number one group? From that sign, the number will automatically be revealed. Leave behind such a memorial. Something is remembered by its memorial. In order to become such an example, you will then have to perform special wonders. Only when someone does something wonderful is there a memorial created. Now we will see what memorial this group leaves behind for all time. This sign should also be imperishable. Now you experience the attainment of all powers within yourself. Do you not? The paper to become embodied dharana is taken here. But the practical paper of facing the external circumstances will have to be taken when you get back. The result of that will also come here. You have to take such a practical paper that everyone feels a lot of transformation has taken place in you. By having courage, you automatically receive help. By having courage, you automatically receive help. If there is even a little bit of courage lacking, then there is also a lack in the help you receive. Some think that they will demonstrate something as being possible when they receive help. However, only those who keep courage will receive help. It is said, courage of the children first, then the father gives help. Maintain courage one-fold, courage and one-fold of courage of yours will enable you to receive 100-fold help from Baba. If you do not take even one step, then neither does Baba takes 100 steps. Whoever does something will receive the return of it. To maintain courage means to do something. To simply leave it to Baba, thinking that it will happen if Baba helps, is the qualification of being one who does not make any effort. Does Baba not know that he has to help? Will he only do that when you ask him? What do you call those who only do something after having been told to do it? Is it not an insult to get something done by actually asking the one who is the bestower? What 5 pennies worth do you give to the bestower who constantly gives you? You remind Bapdada of the instruction that he should help. Do not ever have this thought. then you will automatically receive everything. Since you consider yourself to be the heirs, heirs naturally have a right to the inheritance. They do not have to ask for anything. In Laukic life, they have selfish motives, and this is why they have to ask for it. Here, there is no selfish motive. So, what would Baba do by keeping anything? This is why even to have this thought is a weakness. You have to become one who has complete faith in the intellect. Nishchay Buddhi. Baba is my companion and he is constantly my helper. And intellect that has faith is victorious. Nishchay Buddhi Vijaya. Take every step constantly having this consciousness. Then see how victory becomes a garland around your neck. Those who have a rosary of victory around their neck become a bead of rosary of victory. If you do not become victorious now, you are not able to be part of the rosary of victory. So constantly have this consciousness as you take every step, and you will always be the embodiment of success. Then, if the method of making effort is accurate, it would not be possible for any thought, word, or action to be unsuccessful. If the method of making effort is accurate, it would not be possible for any thought, word, or action to be unsuccessful. Any action performed according to the right method definitely brings success. When you do not do something according to the right method, you do not attain success. You will definitely receive instant fruit as the success of doing something according to the right method. Acha, Om Shanti. Such a beautiful Murli. Baba gave clear directions of what does it take, what does it mean to take a promise, and what are the two promises Baba was talking about, and how do you, what is the right method, what is the right smriti, so that you have a right vritti, so that you have the effect, constant success. Right? So let us take a couple of minutes to digest. You have a determined bhakti. Going to that pure presence, pure mind. Your pure presence is exuding this pure thoughts, pure words, pure actions, pure expression. Try to visualize the whole day is going to be transformed. If you are in Pravriti, the atmosphere in the home is transformed, pure and elevated. Every relationship at work, your neighbors, your family, your friends is very powerful and uplifting. This clear awareness, who you are and who you belong to. Remind yourself your true titles or Master Almighty Authority, knowledgeful and powerful. Or your relationships with one Baba and none other. Hold this elevated stage, detached and loving. Your powerful attitude create this atmosphere and vibrations. Transforming external atmosphere with your internal atmosphere. Vritti. Have this elevated awareness. Strength and honor. Strength being combined in Baba's presence and staying this elevated honor. Om Shanti. Okay. So, what is your takeaway from today's Murli?
Shanti. Good morning to everyone. My Shiv Baba says in this sentence, in the last paragraph, that the method of making effort should be accurate to receive instant fruit. I just want to know whether the word accurate in this sentence, the word does the word accurate and constant go hand in hand in this particular paragraph?
Yeah, that is let me read it again. If the method of making effort is accurate, it wouldn't be possible for any thought, word, or action to be unsuccessful. So Baba is more telling about accuracy and success. Any actions performed according to the right method definitely brings success. When you do not do anything according to the right method, you do not have success. You will definitely receive instant fruit as the success of doing something according to the right method. So the constant part is how long is our stage. Constant stage creates constant success.
Okay, right. Thank you, brother.
Because it is instant. So instant success. So we will have that. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your points. Yeah, consistency, constant, and accuracy is important. Yeah.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
So, it is a corollary Murli, I would say. There are two things. First, when I just went to the title, it's like as if Baba is hitting at what he wants to say. But I found there are two things over here. One is the vow. What is a vow? It is just a determined thought in my mind. And then for that, we keep a fast. And if you see what is fast, what are the physical precautions I have to take? So I feel the vow, that is the thought in my mind. It does, if it, that determination to be determined, it should also be accompanied by fast. But what happened? My fast becomes light. So that fast over here, my other drink, checking my activity. So I like these two separate, how Baba has given and drawn a corollary between both a vow and a fast.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. And then the staying in that vow helps us to stay in that stage of power. Right? Like one of the vow Baba says is like none but one Baba. So that vow, when you stay put with it, it is a stage of power. Right?
For that, Baba gives us in the first paragraph itself two things. One is he says, is your fire intense? Is it intense? Hoga kya nahi hoga hi. So that is the first. So that imperishable stamp have I put. Second, he speaks about how that breath, it will change my vritti. And because of a master, almighty authority, knowledgeful and powerful soul. So these two things also, how to really bring the vow and the fast together, he gives in the first paragraph.
Very nice. Thank you. Anyone else? Bhanubai says, Baba is my companion and he's constantly my helper. But help only comes when we take the first step of courage. Yeah, I think that is the first part, companion. Yes. Sadamani is saying, elevated souls should perform elevated actions, special tasks. That is true. Yeah, and Baba also gave, what is the proof that we are elevated? Even our subjects are more elevated than the most elevated people here. Because they don't even get to see heaven.
Om Shanti. It's very powerful, Murli. Words can't describe the depth of this Murli, and it's a practical manual to how to create our elevated destiny. And the basis of that, Baba says, is the powerful stage, which can be created through powerful attitude, elevated attitude. And Baba, I especially like this particular lines where Baba says that the awareness of who am I and whose child am I and what is my occupation. And Baba gives a practical example is that if anyone forgets this, they're like, who am I in Lokik and what who's my and what is my occupation? Everyone would laugh at that person. And so constantly, brother, we need to check that who am I, whose child am I spiritually, and what is my spiritual occupation. Whether I am at the powerful stage where vritti se vatavaran, vritti se vayumandal, and the correct method, vidhi se siddhi. The correct method gives their 100% success, no doubt about it. And the more I am on an elevated attitude, I can influence the atmosphere rather than the other way around. It's a splendid Murli, very, very powerful Murli. I think we need to churn more on this, every line of this Murli. Om Shanti.
That's right. Smriti se vritti, vritti, drishti. Vayumandal, everything starts changing. Smriti.
Yes. Smriti, because who am I and whose child am I and what is my occupation? This is a part of the Smriti. And then automatically the Smriti is such elevated, automatically the attitude becomes elevated, and then it leads to elevated actions, elevated thoughts, words, and actions, and then automatically my success is constant, elevated.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay.
Brother, just to add what you said, remember in your song, that first line I liked, Murli Amrit ka dara hai. So as you said, this Murli, it's not, it's every word. I always remember Baba says these words and all are million jewels and all. But I just used to think, oh, we find all these kind of things everywhere. But if you go deep down, as the brother rightly said, each line is there. Like I was just going through this line in the Murli when it is given where Baba says, "Kya Mahatma aajkal ke Mahatma wo log thodi heaven mein aayenge, but you are going to come." Like like I don't know that categorization which Baba does, but Baba says, if your word has to be strong, then imbibe the speciality of giving an experience and then make it invaluated. So that speciality is what we can give. So how we have to check? Baba saying, why do you listen to elsewhere? So I always remember this one word, HMV, his master's voice. So to have to keep the HMV of Baba with us. So that one thing, if I do, so even my ears are not going to listen to anything. Well, so I'm so determined in my vow because my ears listen only to him. So even this one line where Baba is saying, why do you listen to elsewhere? I don't know, suddenly I just thought about those days, that HMV. As I said, each line, I think it needs a lot of churn.
Yeah, very powerful words. Yeah. There's a lot of pride, nasha. And then there is nasha in the way Baba says, right? And that nasha brings that nischay also. Like, yeah, that is me. If that is me, then it got to be more powerful than anyone on this earth. Yeah, agree. Yeah.
Yeah, Shanti, brother. So for me, I'm going more into the deep core of this Murli. And the most important thing for me, which I've picked up in this Murli, is the two vows. One is the vow to remain pure in thought, mind, and action. And the second vow, there is only one Father and none other. And I feel everything else is around it. The method, the knowledge, the technique. But the core are these two vows. And actually, if you actually sink deep into these vows, everything else is going to happen quite naturally.
Very true.
It will just happen so pleasingly and so happily. And I somehow, by nature, I always feel that Baba's special guidance to me, especially in the meditation, is to be free. Free from rituals, free from bondage, free from this and that, and that happens with these two simple vows. So that's the essence which I'm getting out of this Murli. Everything else is helping you with examples, teaching you through different examples. But what is the core? Purity in mind, body, spirit, with the knowledge that who am I, and total, there is only one Baba, there is only one Father and none other. That's it. And that everything else just changes automatically. Om Shanti.
Yeah, very true, very true. Yeah, and especially when we are talking about the purity, it's more about when we start refining inward, it's not just the external expression part is thoughts, words, actions. These are all expression of it. But the purity is more inside your stage, your vritti, your smriti and your energy of your heart, what kind of feeling that you have. Is it a bhavana kind? Is it a longing kind of energy? When we refine that energy, right? Like when you connect to Baba, your presence, when we refine our soul consciousness, when we refine our presence, right? Your vibrations are changing before even connecting to Baba. And that pure connection between me and Baba, that purity, and then there is a deep belonging, and and then everything else falls into place, like you said. Very true.
Brother, I agree with what that sister said about the two vows. And everything else is, how do I maintain it? Because see, in the beginning of the new year, we make resolutions. We say we will do this, we will do that. But what happens at the end of the year? It pickles not. So Baba doesn't want us to do. He gave us these two thoughts. So why does that become fickle? Why do you get influenced? Why that mischief is there is what is the other part of the Murli. Because for me, having a thought, fine. But my mind is, is not so focused, so manmana bhava and all that I always think of the bow. No. So for some safety valves or safety points or precautions, breaks, sab ye jo bolte hai na, that's what Baba is given in the Murli. So that is why I feel I should understand everyone. Like I didn't understand this brother. Not I didn't understand, I couldn't churn clearly. See, Baba says, if suppose your vows are fulfilled, you'll see three changes. One is the elements become your servant. Second is external circumstances, original stage. Third is family sample household. Could you explain the second one? I just couldn't get that sentence clearly. External circumstances, original stage. Where Baba speaks about it.
Yeah. So there are two sentences when Baba was talking about when you put anything in batti, three things changes, right? The form, the color, and what is the third one? So when you put anything in the fire, color, form, and something else changes. So, and when you make your vritti pure, these three things changes. Your nature, your swabhav, and pravritti, and circumstances or task, right? So these three changes. So, like if you see both of these things, the practice and the precaution is the same thing, if you actually see. So when I'm so conscious and when I'm in my pure presence and then having this pure awareness of who I belong to, me and Baba are very close to each other. There is that purity is intensity, right? So more I am pure, more I can feel that intense presence, then your form is changing. Form also includes the energy that I'm putting it out, is changing, which is actually changing my natural nature, which is my swabhav is also changing, right? With that, what will happen? You start hydrating all your relationships with the very energy that you're putting it out. So your pravritti is also changing. Actually, in Hindi, vritti and pravritti is the words. So your household bhavna that you have in the household also starts transforming. Like you are in the same place where other God's children are also in the same place. They are nothing, they don't belong to you like, oh, my wife, my husband, my children, my uncle, my auntie, my father, my mother. You don't have that bhavna at all. Your bhavna is also, vritti is also changed, right? So it transforms the pravrutti bhav, swabhav, and also the very nature of how you relate to them, the situation itself will change. Did I answer your question or is it some other question?
Got it, brother.
Yeah. So form, I think all of this thing, when we start meditating, it all points to the same thing, same practice, same precaution, and same expression. Your presence is expression after a form. Anyone else? Very nice. Nice churnings are coming here. Everyone was sharing constantly nourish your vow with water of awareness and the sunlight of being an embodiment of experience. Beautiful, beautiful practice. Yeah. Anyone else want to share? Takiben, Amiben.
The beginning of the Murli today, Baba says that burn your weaknesses in the bhakti through determination. So what I was getting was when he used this analogy is whatever you burn. So a simple example, when you have to cook any vegetable, the whole color, the whole sanskar of the vegetable changes after it's been cooked. So that's the practical point for me to take home is if to destroy weakness, or rather to free myself from weakness, the only power that needs to imbibe is power of determination.
Very beautiful. And determination, intensity, and subtlety all comes together. How subtle am I? That makes me how intense am I? And how subtle am I and how long can I sustain that without any fluctuation? That makes up my determination. Subtlety, intensity, determination, all comes together. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else?
I would like to just add one reflection that we started with a memory and ended up with a memorial. Great.
Memorial, that's right.
Baba can give such words of wisdom really, and which are so practical. Started with the consciousness, awareness, and we ended up with a great memorial for all time.
That's right.
Gratefully.
Very nice.
Brother, for that, Baba has given such a nice flow chart about that memorial. No words, look at yourself, revise the vow, refresh it, bring it in awareness, power, leave a memorial. That flow chart which he gave for a memorial was very good.
Self-focus, yeah. Okay. Yeah, beautiful. So Rakhi Ben, what do we do next? Are we time? Are we up?
Yes, maybe we can move on to meditation.
Okay, so we'll do a quick meditation. Okay. Make yourself very comfortable. Very comfortable in your natural state. Relaxed body, spacious mind, open heart, and your subtle presence, pure subtle presence. Yourself very comfortable and stable in your powerful presence. Feel that power. Subtle is power. Now gracefully bring your attention to Baba's presence. Fill your heart, fill your mind. Totally absorbed in Baba's love and light. Try to feel the intensity in this subtle combined form. Very stable in this position. And exude these powerful vibrations. Transforming the atmosphere in your own home and transforming the atmosphere on this earth, the home on this physical plane. And extend these powerful vibrations far into the future. Whole day is powerful, holding the same powerful stage. Anchor yourself in this with determination, in this powerful stage. Om Shanti. Hold this presence for the rest of the day.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Arshabai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5. Until that time, have a wonderful day.
Om Shanti.